There is only experience, no experiencer. Now if I say something to you, and I say, do you understand this? Chances are you'll say either yes or no. And that yes or no comes from the thought that I am experiencing the answer or not. But you begin to realize that there's no you to understand or not understand. There is no experiencer, there's just experience. And the moment you realize there's no one to understand, that's understanding. Okay. I see some questions. They're not being asked, but I see them and they're looking. Okay. A mother loves her daughter so much. There's tremendous love, overflowing love. Okay? It's rising from within her for her daughter. At that moment, she can say to the daughter, I love you. That's just an expression of how she's feeling. But is she experiencing her love, or is she being love? Now please see the difference here. See, love is rising. She's become love. Therefore, who she thinks she is, the past, the conditioned ideas, her programming, her tradition, her beliefs, her religion, are not in vogue at the moment. They're not relevant at the moment. All she is that love. Do you understand? And that love is that space in which she is feeling that love. So at that moment there is no one loving, there's just this incredible love. Okay? And so there's no experiencer of love, there's just love being itself and experiencing itself. Because ultimately you'll find that when you forget yourself, all you forget really is your conditioned self, which is the past. You'll find that all your tendencies for jealousy, for anger, for reaction are automatic response of your, I'll just finish this, your automatic response. When you are in the now, none of that is relevant anymore. You just are. You see? Yeah.
Is there such thing as a conscious forgetting and an unconscious forgetting of yourself?
Not really, not really. You don't consciously forget yourself. Because if you try to do that, you won't succeed. Because the very attempt of trying to forget yourself makes you remember yourself.
But it's an expanded.
It's an expanded. So it's not a conscious or unconscious thing. What happens is you begin to see how it actually is. For example, sometimes I do this at Supersentience. You know, I play music in the background. And sometimes there are trucks and lorries, you know, the window was open because it was hot. And people hear the sounds outside. And as they're sitting, you know, with their eyes closed, totally here, and I said, where are you hearing this sound? And they say, oh, it's out there. You see? And then I say to them, okay, the sound seems to be out there, but isn't the auditory nerve that is perceiving that sound? And if you totally listen, you will find that there's a throb, actually reception of that sound in your system. So is it really out there or in here? You see what I mean? Now that listening begins to awaken that knowing that there really no outside or inside, there's only consciousness. You see? And so that consciousness does not decide one thing or another. It either sees or it doesn't see. When it doesn't see, we call it unconscious, asleep. When it sees, we call it awake. But really, it's not deciding anything. It's not making up its mind. And this is why we say this. You don't need to do anything. There's nowhere to go. There's no goal to be achieved. There's nothing to overcome. There's actually nothing to learn. There's only to awaken that listening, which is, of course, the seeing. The seeing of what is at the moment, you see? How it actually is. And how it actually is, let us repeat, how is it? Whatever is happening is happening. Right now a thought comes to you of, oh, I didn't get any money today. Oh my goodness, I've got no money. How am I going to pay the rent? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's just, Just what came to me. So naturally, you are worried about it. You're upset about it immediately. You're caught. Okay, the thought came. How do you deal with it? You don't need to deal with it. What is happening is just a thought that completely took over your body, mind, organism. Let it be there and see that all it is just a movement from the past, which now penetrated the present. Allow it to be there, but see that that very seeing itself, the only thing that matters is the space in which it is contained. So see as if there's a vast space, and this thought, you're putting it there in this space. Okay? We're getting this? Okay, I know it's words and it's kind of a mental picture, but you are the space, and the moment you see that, it takes only 1 second. The moment you see that, you'll find even that fear, even that thought begins to dissipate. That's how powerful it is when you place first that everything that you're experiencing is contained within this container. Just like a large, huge container contains everything within it. And it is that which starts to create the shift. And then you'll find that as you begin to live from this shift, which is of course presence, then things begin to happen. Now when I say things begin to happen, I'm sure of that you know what I'm talking about here. You need something, somebody calls, you read it in a book, you're walking out, you meet the right person, you meet the right situation, things begin to fall into place. Because the moment you put yourself in the presence, you have actually aligned with natural law. And natural law is always looking after you. Always. This is something that few people are aware of. This is what is called trust. This is what is called surrender. That when you go with that flow which you are moving through oneness, not personal agenda. And so you're not cutting yourself off. You're not separating from what is. And so you have created a link with all that is around you. And that very link now has brought you with that totality. You see? And everything begins to happen. You know, you're being taken care of. So you begin to see that, my goodness, you know, this totality is love. And it's taking care of me. But there is no me. I am that too. Because there is no separation. There isn't me and this totality. There's only the totality. You see? And this is where this very understanding, this awakening to that understanding is the shift. How does now dispel the experiencer? I'm asking you. How does the now dispel the experiencer? See, what we call experiencer is the person you think you are. But when you stop for a moment and become very still, ask, this me, where is it now? Really, where is it? Try to find it. In this body, mind, action, where is this thing called me? Where is the person that I call myself?
It's just an idea.
It's just an idea. That's all it is. It's just a belief. There isn't anything there. There's just emptiness. And that emptiness that is looking through your eyes now, that makes you conscious through aware space, that awareness itself is the presence itself, is the oneness. Because that automatically joins you with every other living being.